Good morning and Happy New Year, Coffee Moaners.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Moaning. If you're new here, and to all our regulars, we've missed you.
Yeah, we really have.
We've really missed you. It feels a bit odd, I'm not going to lie, to be back and to be live.
Yeah.
It feels really strange.
Really strange, especially as we've been although we've kind of been communicating with you on some of the premieres to begin with, obviously, throughout Vlogmas. Hope you all enjoyed it. That was our daily sitcom around our Christmas, which obviously, for very obvious reasons, took a sort of deviation in terms of consistency. And then, of course, that had an impact on most of the other content, which is, tragic news. But
yeah, Hannah, our lovely Hannah actually did pass last week. Throughout December, I wasn't saying anything about it, but we were doing, well, not just December, was it? It was the last 2 months, 2.5 months have been really difficult for Hannah and for all of those that loved her, because, she was in a hospital and then in a hospice, and she was incredible and unbelievably brave and went through a lot. And so, yeah, there was lots of trips to hospitals and hospices and stuff that I wasn't talking about because it was her thing, and but we did tragically lose her. But I was very lucky because the Fab Four were together for 2 hours with her on the day that she actually died. We didn't know, of course, that she was going to die that day. And it was, it was always really difficult to get the 4 of us together. We were going to the hospice, and sometimes it'd be 2 of us, sometimes it'd be 1 of us. And our friend Tits was there. It was just 10 minutes from the hospice, so it was great. So she could go there almost every day. But on this day, we were all there together, and it was kind of like, it was beautiful and sad at the same time, crushingly sad, as I keep saying, because that's what it felt like, crushingly sad. But it was very beautiful at the same time, because we were, able to like just soothe her, and it was, tell her over and over that we loved her, and she, Anyway, I'm waffling.
For those,
her beautiful brother and stepmom, and
Michelle Penny says she waited for you all to be together one more time.
Oh, yeah, maybe. And her lovely friend Sarah and all her friends. And Michelle, everybody's heartbroken. Our lovely Michelle, who supported her in all sorts of ways. Yeah, so it was just a really difficult New Year this year. I felt very dark, didn't I? Just with everything that had gone on, with everything that's gone on with Gaza, with everything. It's just been fuck of a terrible year, 2025. Sorry for bringing anyone down.
And I think if there's one thing I can say, having witnessed and been alongside you and alongside the Fab Four, we've said it before, we've all experienced people close to us who've tragically passed. And I think the reminder here this Christmas was just, it doesn't matter how likely or how close or how inevitable something is in the abstract. And even if that abstract is, life is going to last another 2-3 weeks, when it comes to the day or to the moment, it's sudden, it's severe, it feels violent.
Does,
and it's shocking.
It's like I said to Mark, and I said to the girls, I said, God, we don't get to swerve grief, do we? No. We were so prepared, as many of you know, because you've seen Hannah on our blogs. We've been
she's been live on this a few times.
How many times have we been to the Marsden and had the 4 of us, and had good news and then bad news and then horrendous news, and Hannah's always been the one that's kept everybody going. And just honestly, the most remarkable person. And many of you have seen her on Lorraine and the Loose Women, and supported our campaign for End Her To Now, which, don't get me started, I'm so enraged that hasn't been women in England are not allowed to have a drug that most other countries you are with secondary breast cancer. But I will use my rage and my grief to campaign further for people with secondary breast cancer, who are the people that are just forgotten. To watch somebody knowing that one more day and one more day and one more day was so vital, and for people somewhere to decide with a pen, oh, it just gives you another year, it just gives you another year. Oh yeah, it's not worth it. But anyway, I didn't mean to say all of this. I don't know how I'm saying all of this.
Well, no, I mean, I think everyone, Dawny Harvey's sending a love. Thank you so much for your card, Dawny.
No, I just saw it, Dawny. Thank
Hannah
you so
was
much.
surrounded by love, beautiful soul. You're going through this with a best friend right now. It's so painful.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And nothing, that's what I was saying. You can't swerve grief just because we knew all these things, just because we'd been to the hospital so many times, because we just heard good and bad news. All of that, you think, oh, we're prepared. We're going to be more prepared. You know, each time that we went to the hospice, we thought, maybe this is the last time we're going to see her. And then I felt like, I mean, I remember having conversations with, you know, my friends saying, oh, I think I'm prepared now. I think I'm prepared. Forget that bollocks. We were not prepared.
You'll never know, exactly.
You're not prepared, because suddenly they've gone, and I still can't believe that she's actually got. Well, it will take me a long time to believe. Because it's too shocking.
Everyone in the chat room there sending so much love.
Yes, and her too now. Thank you, Jordan Sullivan. You're all so supportive. You're all so lovely. And Hannah always used to say, as Lee does actually, that we've got the nicest followers, the nicest subscribers. She had so much love from you guys, and I know many of you donated, and so just so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for all of your lovely comments, and all of your you're never prepared, says Simona. A1. Absolutely right. And you know, the same applies to, you know, elderly members of the family too. You know, it is about a relationship. It's about connection. It's about friendship. It's about everything that isn't actually to do with just the body. And so when the body, for whatever reasons, kind of fails or stops, that's why it's a wrench. It is forever a wrench. It's a connection. And I would just say, as an outside observer of the friendship, the Fab Four, having had it, as I said elsewhere, a huge privilege of kind of editing a lot of your footage. So the weird thing about when you edit footage of anyone is you get to see people up close. You get to see the non-verbal relationships and trust and looks between them. And there is a really special connection between all four of you, and that foursome continues. It doesn't just go. So,
well, I'm looking forward to Sunday when me and Kaz and Tits are going to get together and just have a day of, like, we're going to go on a bit of a mini trek, because of course we all met on a trek. And
Oh, okay.
Probably cry my bloody eyes out, if I'm honest.
Lots of love for you, baby. Lots of love.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Oh, Shirley Worley, quiet sub here, quietly grieving along with you. Thank you. Satoff's in the background. So we're going to move on just to 2026. 2025, I think it's fair to say, was an absolute fucking shit show. I think Hannah would have said that. I think my mother would have said that, would say that. I think it was a horrendous year in so many different ways. Personal, global, you know, the genocide that just never ends. It just shifts in its emphasis and the way in which it's pursued and enacted. You know, the global stage has been an incredibly fraught, fractious and frightening prospect coming out of 2025. And for me, I just want to ask you guys, what are your feelings about 2026? And I want to ask Nads, because Nadia found this link to someone being billed as the new Nostradamus. And then I went into his predictions, and they're very political. So I think that's quite, Nostradamus often goes for things like volcanoes and earthquakes and stuff. But anyway, they're quite interesting predictions politically in terms of the world. But the first thing I would say that I saw coming into 2026, I don't know if anyone else saw this. The timing on this is
Thank you, all your lovely messages.
I don't know if anyone else saw this. Was the White House Instagram account posting a clip from Gladiator the movie with Russell Crowe, the moment where he's on horseback and he says, "Let's unleash hell,"
So
and then
disgusting.
and then Trump has put underneath, the president preparing his team for 2026. Let's unleash hell.
Well, I was just listening to our favourite guy, Simon March from LBC, talking about Mamdani. And,
right, yeah.
And
which we're going to be talking about too.
He was saying his popularity is just literally on the floor, the lowest I think that it's been for a president at this stage, and anyway,
which is always the most worrying moment.
36%, and but the Democrats are at 18.
Fucking hell.
18.
So where are the other 52?
They've just left the world. They've just not, because it's not only America. Why do we talk about America so much? Because America affects the whole goddamn world. Just listening to some scientists earlier about their fears around the viruses that are being allowed to run racket across America because they've got some weird old guy and they're just cancelling everything. What's his name? Robert Kennedy. Is he Robert? What's his name? The new Kennedy. Anyway, so anything that's going on in America affects us. Yeah. Even the rat viruses they're allowing to run amok. I mean, and so him saying, unleash, what is it?
Hell.
Unleash hell should actually worry us all.
Well, there are so many.
Because what bit of hell next?
Well, there were so many aspects to the festive season, which was so unfestive, as we've just said, personally, as well as, globally. But when you've got the president of the United States posting "Unleash Hell," when everyone's just wanting to tuck into their food, have a moment,
just one moment,
deal with Auntie such and such's Brussels farts, and just get adjusted for the year.
Was it Christmas Day posted it?
No, it was around New Year's. I'm just saying, everyone's eating leftovers. Everyone's just sort of said, just let everyone just settle down. Not only have you got him posting that shit, you've got Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, partying at Mar-a-Lago, actually shuffling on his feet at a party,
watching the fireworks while they're still bombing Palestine.
And this morning or last night, I'm going to show you. We're going to go to these in detail, but then this morning or last night, oh my God, call me a moron if I think there's a connection between Netanyahu being at Mar-a-Lago for New Year's and today Trump has threatened to hit Iran.
Right, there you go.
Oh God, there we go. So
he's so easily manipulated, isn't he?
It's also obvious to
because America needs to not bomb Iran. Iran is not doing anything to America.
But on that, we will get to the Machiavellian scheming of the Netanyahu regime and how they're going to make it work this time. It's not going to be nuclear bombs that they're attacking. They're now, you wait, it's all so clever. Anyway, I just wanted to share this meme with us all because it was one that really resonated for me and Nads. Perhaps the most disturbing thing about 2025 is or was how many people seem undisturbed. Yeah. Who in your life please share here if anyone knows someone, because we know a lot, who are still trotting along unaffected by everything. It's like everything is sort of
I think a lot of people are undisturbed because a lot of people feel the anxiety of it is too much and they feel powerless. And believe you me, there have been many times over the last few months where I've thought, what am I doing? Why am I tearing myself to pieces? Why am I screaming into the dark abyss? Why am I? Because we are powerless. And then I pull myself back from the abyss and I say, because if enough people truly, if more and more people say not in my name, and I'm not just talking about Palestine, I'm talking about the atrocities right across the world, the atrocities that are going on in this country, that we've got children who are cold and hungry and not getting a good education, whilst we have the fat cat 50 families in this country earning more than 50% of working people are earning to get the whole. I mean, all of them. It's like it's an insanity. The world is insane. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and the really manipulative, nasty bastards are standing in the middle, telling people who to hate. Hate them. hate them. Keep your eyes off us, the billionaires. Don't look this way. Don't look at all of us that are making all the money and keeping you all under the bloody thumb. And so it's going to need us all to give a shit, and to believe that we do actually have power in our vote.
But I don't mind being quite overt and strong on this, because MeTube says it's because people know that they can't change administrations until the next elections come around. But I would go further than that, MeTube. I think we're all long enough in the tooth to know that elections rarely really change anything. It's yet another kind of caretaker for the same system. And I think that's why we've talked many times about, that's why there's a spike in support for reform, a spike in support for Greens. There's a feeling and a hope at the very opposite ends of the political spectrum that they offer something new, different, not like the status quo mainstream bilge that has literally made us flip and flop theoretically left and right, but we've never really flipped and flopped left and right. It's a completely specious suggestion that keeps us all going on the treadmill. Well, let's keep voting because it kind of suggests that we've got it. It's so transparent in its artifice and its ineffectiveness. And I think you're right. I just want to say this. Someone else just said, because a lot of people feel too overwhelmed by what's going on. I think that's the most explainable reason.
Yeah, I think people feel overwhelmed. They feel powerless. And they feel anxious. So they say, I'm going to check out. And then there are the people that are just so privileged, as Penny would say, to be undisturbed is such a sign of privilege. There are people that are so privileged that they don't even enter into anything that's unpleasant. It's just unpleasant. But then there are people that are not privileged. But there are people that have had, generation after generation kept under the boot. And I'm talking about in this country. I'm not talking about. They've been kept under the boot. They've been kept having so much less than others that they feel, well, it's never going to change. So, it's what's the point? I grew up in a household where I was told all the time, don't think about politics because everybody lies. That's how I was brought up.
It's not funny, isn't it? Your entire family has become totally politicized.
Yeah, we've all become politicized now. And even my mum, which is totally extraordinary. I think my mum's joined the Green Party. I mean, this is just incredible. And so that's what gives me hope. There are lots of people. I mean, myself, I've become so much more political than I ever was. Because I think we need to be, because I think we can't just give up on the world. Because
I mean, I grew up in an entirely political environment, insofar as it was very firmly left wing. It was kind of a bit slapdash in its application, but we were very fringe, lesbian, feminist, single parent, state comprehensive, only kid, so it was we came from a very left wing. We were surrounded by people selling socialist worker. I went on marches. I was fly posting for Marxism parties and feminist groups and going on. So I came from a very political background, and yet it sometimes feels like there was more of a sense back then that you could change things than you can now, in a weird way.
Because my political time was with my first boyfriend, who was very political. And I just believed everything could be changed. That's youth as well. Yeah. What is it they say? You should be a socialist until you've got no heart if you're not a socialist till you're 21, and you've got no brain if you're still a socialist after 21. Well, fuck that.
Yeah. And I think looked at
just keep the heart all the way through.
I mean, Hachi Boy makes a point. Look, I'm very political, but my kids are not. And again, I
maybe
think
this is the time, Hachi Boy.
It's insurmountable. I think that's the problem. Musical chimp. Someone kept sending me Trump gifts, Trump dancing Happy New Year. So I sent a pic of the little girl, the little Palestinian girl, with her guts hanging out, saying Happy New Year.
Oh, musical chimp 5, like you don't fuck about.
Yeah, just right between the fucking eyes, musical chimp. Well, let me just move.
Yeah. There's an irony.
Yes, I love your name. I always have. I just think of that chimp that's just playing the drums. Okay, well, I'm just going to step us through this story. No, not at all. Trump promises hell. We've talked about that, but this is Netanyahu. Some images. Netanyahu attending Trump's New Year's Eve party.
Sick to my stomach.
After meeting with Christian Zionists, Prime Minister of Israel posted this with photographs of him and his wife and a rictus grin from Trump and his statuesque table lamp next to him. At the invitation of US President Donald Trump and his wife Melania, Netanyahu and his wife Sarah took part yesterday in the New Year celebrations of Mar-a-Lago.
Please, I don't think
Netanyahu was the only foreign leader invited to the event and the only one to. I was the only onesies. I was the only onesies allowed to go there because I'm the only onesies and I'm the biggest kind of pick me boy in the world.
Disgusting.
I mean, he's literally showing off about being the only leader in the world to go because no one else fucking likes you and no one else fucking likes Trump.
Oh, they're going to bring about the end of the world.
No, but let's just unpack this. Prime Minister Netanyahu, his own Twitter account has said, was the only foreign leader invited to the event and the only one to have ever taken part in the president's gala.
That's a really good point, Mark. Nobody wants
to be next to the tall, senile, cankled fool, and no one wants to stand next to that flaccid sack of shit, which is Benjamin Netanyahu.
And can I just read you this? This is from the Jewish Voice for Peace. This was 3 days ago while they were all partying and watching fireworks. Early this morning, Israeli occupation forces unexpectedly opened the Gaza Valley water channel, which had previously been blocked with dams and water traps along the border. The sudden release caused torrents to rush into nearby areas, sweeping away the tents of displaced families. This is them having, yesterday was the first time the sun has shone in a month in Palestine. They've been having horrific weather, freezing cold storms. Last I heard, 4 babies have died from the freezing cold just in this last period. Okay, because they've been dying before, but nobody gives a shit. So they literally opened the waterway to wash away. Now, they won't say that. There'll be all kinds of reasons why they did that, but they washed away those families and the tents. So you party on, you absolute sociopathic.
So
nightmares.
But to be clear, the reason is the prime minister of Israel, the prime minister of Israel was there as someone, I can't remember who said, there was no official kind of agenda. No, there wasn't, because there never is an official agenda with Israel. It's all unofficial. It's all behind curtains. It's always in the ear of whoever they've got blackmailed, compromised material on. And it's forever undercover, sinister, and Machiavellian. That's all Israel does. I'm not going to pull my punches in. That's all Israel does as a government.
Look at that. Look at that.
So the
party on, boys.
So the reason he was there, the reason he was at the White House, at Mar-a-Lago, was because he needed to have a whisper in Trump's ear about the fact that they want to generate the next wave of hostilities, wars, conflicts in the Middle East to get 2026 off to a really kind of resounding start. And what better place to start than Iran? Now, of course, the government of Iran is a repressive organization in a regime. It has its own human rights issues. But so too does Israel. So too does America. Is freely bombing fishermen and boats without any international kind of responsibility whatsoever off the coast of Venezuela.
And let's not forget what they're doing to their own people in their own country.
Precisely.
ICE are absolutely insane, grabbing people off the street and throwing them into these hellholes.
If I hear one more time someone say, if you were gay and in Iran, this would happen, that's not true. But I promise you right now, in about 60% of various religious groups of Israel, homosexuality isn't tolerated either.
Absolutely
not. Homosexuality isn't tolerated in swathes of America. Homosexuality is frowned upon and dealt with horrendously in this country. So don't use these spurious pretend kind of liberal kind of rationales coming from fascists. It's so ironic that they're suddenly fighting for fucking gay rights when they're all far-right fascists.
Let's remember what Trump has done to the trans community in America.
Precisely.
I mean, my God.
So the reason Netanyahu was there was to fan the flames, whisper into the senile moron that is Trump's ear, look, we need to really get going on Iran. We can't do the nuclear thing again. That's kind of slightly backfired. But what are they going to do? They're going to manufacture dissent in Iran. They're going to, and this isn't to say that there aren't people protesting. There are. And this is where it becomes really effective propaganda. So they seize upon protest and resistance and frustration. Let's not forget, there's been those same protests in Israel. There are protests across America all the time. A protest against your government, theoretically, America and Israel and the UK, doesn't mean that the entire regime needs to be changed by an outside state. Otherwise, you could say the same to all of us. That's what happens in countries. But these are being used by Israel and America for Donald Trump to post this threat 2 hours ago. If Iran shoots and violently kills peace, it can't even spell because he's so fucking senile.
My God.
If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, ask the Venezuelans who's more sort of customarily killing people. The USA will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention on this matter, President Donald J. Trump. This is 2 hours ago.
Oh, God, I didn't know that.
Now we know what we don't need a formal agenda for why Netanyahu. I mean, they don't.
And where were the Democrats? What are they saying? Are they outraged by this?
This happened 2 hours ago.
War?
I mean, literally, we are.
Oh my God!
The cause and effect is so transparent. It frightens me. Okay, going back to that meme that we posted. Don't be undisturbed. You know, maybe be undisturbed, but for fuck's sake, use half a brain cell to look at this news story and go, we're being played,
all of us.
And we're being played.
And think of all the millions of Iranians. How fucking terrifying, terrorizing. It's outrageous.
So again, remember, they will take a kernel of truth or a truth, which is there is dissent and resistance in Iran. That's Iran's business. Like, theoretically, how would Trump feel if Iran started to get involved in American dissent in America? Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll hit a couple of kind of military installations in America because they're getting rid of immigrants in an illegal fashion.
I mean, it's like the way America's doing that here. We've got J.D. Vance and Trump saying he needs to be leader of Europe, telling us that our country is broken. Follow Nova Media. I know I've said this a few times before, but I will still keep pumping them out. They do incredible work, really serious people that are right on top of what is going on via America to us. The trouble that is being, whipped up behind the scenes for us here by America getting their fingers in our pies. It's just like what we say, what we watch and allow them to do to others. Why would they think they can't? Yeah. Why would we think they can do to us? Because that's supremacy. We think that we are above that. We're not. They see us as fodder.
And listen, look, there was a Mossad whistleblower. You don't often get them over the Christmas period. And he was talking about how the fact that Israel have people planted in the Gaza Strip firing some of those missiles that you always hear, oh, a fucking rocket has come out of Gaza. It's not to say that they shouldn't be coming out, but listen, those little, it's like a fucking firework compared to what Israel can destroy Gaza with. But apparently, according to this whistleblower from Mossad, numerous ones of those little kind of fire rockets that are coming out of Gaza have been facilitated by Mossad plants.
Mossad is the secret police. It's like the FBI.
It's like this. So the Israeli intelligence services place people in Gaza. Now, if they can do it in Gaza, why aren't they doing the same in Iran? Of course they are. So Alison Barber says, these protests propping up right now in Iran, I presume you mean, are not suspicious at all. You're being sarcastic. Of course they're not. Of course. Well, oh, really? This is all very convenient, isn't it? Because you want to go and bomb
you've all spent New Year's together.
And I just want to quickly just pull up this thought. Lexi says, it's comforting that his popularity is on the floor. I disagree. Can only hope he isn't inspiring the next generation of US presidential candidates. Here's my reason I disagree. His popularity on the floor makes it inevitable that his lot are gonna do Trump's.
Do something big to stop the midterms.
To stop the midterms or prevent that being translated into a loss. He can't lose anything, Donald Trump.
Because if he loses the midterms, he's then tied up in well, he just won't be able to do anything, will he?
Theoretically, but I mean, I don't see that coming. US is not the greatest country on earth, says Solkani. The media has brainwashed us into believing that
none of us can survive without them.
Well, here's a couple of moments just to.
Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them. But hopefully, that's not happening. I heard Iran wants to make a deal. If they want to make a deal, that's much smarter.
Would you support the overthrow of the Iranian regime?
Of who?
Iranian regime.
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime. It's, they've got a lot of problems in Iran. They have tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know that people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people.
They're like you guys.
They're like you.
You know, they kill people.
Good.
And the people tend to... I've watched this for years. There's tremendous discontent. They form 100,000, 200,000 people. All of a sudden, people start getting shot, and that group disbands pretty quickly. So I've watched it for years. They're vicious people.
Well, he's watched it for years because it sounds incredibly like what he's trying to do in America. Was it Antifa, the organization that doesn't exist?
It doesn't exist.
When Stephen Miller or someone was asked, or Kash Patel was asked, where are their offices? Oh, give us a name. They couldn't give him a name.
It's an idea.
They couldn't even give a name.
Isn't it a little book, Antifa? Isn't it a little book?
But listen to this moment over dinner. This is over Christmas. I saved these in a moment of fury over the Christmas period. This is where, listen, on a hot mic, Donald Trump is heard moaning to Benjamin Netanyahu. Oh.
But to both of them, I said, we're going to cut you off. No more trade. Then I put 200% tariffs on. The next day they called. We looked at 35 years of fighting, and they stopped. Do I get credit for it? No. They gave them. I did 8 of them. India. How about India and Pakistan? And then, so I did 8 of them. And then I'll tell you the rest of it. How are you doing? Okay. You're going to all be outside, the beautiful sun.
You didn't realize they were there.
Enjoy your lunch. It's a very good group. We made a lot of progress already. We had about a 5-minute meeting, and we've already settled about 3 of the difficulties. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Press. Thank you, Press.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Benjamin Netanyahu's grin, his smirk, his Cheshire cat-like smile, I think goes down as possibly one of the worst things since Adolf Hitler's moustache. It's just hideous. He's hideous.
Can we move on to Mamdani soon and give ourselves some hope?
Okay. All right. Well, look, in other sort of kind of relatively positive news, George Clooney fired back at Trump after US President mocked Clooney and his wife being given French citizenship.
God, she's beautiful.
Yeah, and of course, let's not forget his wife Amal Clooney. Is it Amal?
Amal
was instrumental in getting the arrest warrants issued against that guy, a war criminal who was invited to the White House, invited to Mar-a-Lago. Can I just say, incidentally, on a personal note, I posted a comment underneath the New York Post when they were kind of idolatory about Benjamin Netanyahu. They're going, "Oh, he's invited, is all this, New York Post, far right, rag, tabloid." But I follow them. I like to see what fucking nonsense they're spouting out. And I put a comment underneath saying, "Look, we know America doesn't observe international law, but most of the rest of the world does. You are idolizing a war." Anyway, they immediately hid my account, and someone got in touch with me. So you do know that they're hiding your account. So the New York Post goes on to all their social media.
You didn't say what you said. What did you say?
I did. I said, stop idolizing a war criminal. You might not in America observe international criminal law, but we do. And he's a wanted war criminal that you're promoting and sort of idolizing.
Right.
And hide. So these public, all the far right in America who demand free speech.
Oh, it's only their free speech.
They can't cope with anything. They're huge wallies, all of them. Okay, yeah, Mamdani. Let's have a look. So Mamdani obviously was sworn in.
Have we got the swearing in?
I've got 3 clips. Yeah.
Let's go to Mamdani, Mayor of New York City, and his beautiful wife.
Mamdani pledges new era for New York and vows to govern audaciously.
I love that, audaciously.
So what I'm going to first show you, I've had to strip the music off, but this is a montage, but we can talk through and describe what we're seeing of the inauguration. So we have. There we go. So we're seeing footage of Mamdani and his wife at City Hall, I guess, with lots of flags. He's swearing on a Quran, which is what the New York Post was. That's what the New York Post was.
Oh, how disgusting. How disgusting. That's going to bring about the end of America.
Yeah, absolutely diabolical. How dare he swear on anything other than a Bible?
Isn't she gorgeous?
Lots of ticker tape. Yeah, so that was that. MeTube says Mamdani has to deliver now. Now the real politic kicks in.
Yeah.
Well,
whether it'll be allowed to.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he has to be very clever. As wherever he can't deliver, he has to be transparent from the get-go on why he is being disallowed.
Because you know it was Bernie that was swearing you in. I was crying.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Oh,
no.
I've
got another clip or something. I don't know if it's right.
It was kind of beautiful.
The authors of this story will speak Pashto and Mandarin, Yiddish and Creole. They will pray in mosques, at shul, at church, at gurudwaras and mandirs and temples. And many will not pray at all. They will be Russian Jewish immigrants in Brighton Beach, Italians in Rossville, and Irish families in Woodhaven, many of whom came here with nothing but a dream of a better life, a dream which has withered away. They will be young people in cramped Marble Hill apartments where the walls shake when the subway passes. They will be black homeowners in St. Albans, whose homes represent a physical testament to triumph over decades of lesser paid labor and redlining. They will be Palestinian New Yorkers in Bay Ridge, who will no longer have to contend with a politics that speaks of universalism and then makes them the exception. Few of these 8.5 million will fit into neat and easy boxes.
Oh,
beautiful.
Oh, and it goes on. Oh my God! I mean,
I've got another clip. I just wanted to read this comment here. Passive aggressive. If it was the Torah, he would
have
be
been
praised.
And there we go. Religion used and manipulated to keep people angry and divided.
Yeah.
Doesn't that go against the whole idea of religion, whatever religion you are?
Penny Albertella would love to see or hear updates of what he achieves.
We will be keeping our eye.
Someone here says, Piano Man, I agree with George Galloway on Mamdani in that he is a phony. Sorry.
Do you?
This is a tricky one, because we were talking to someone else before Christmas, actually, about certain choices or decisions he needs to make in order to avoid that. And it's something, MeTube, you plow this furrow an enormous amount, which is this idea that, power, everyone has an ideal. And then when you get into the kind of corridors of power, you have to adjust, you have to pivot. And then what ends up happening is the whole system contorts you and compresses you into really just a very slightly different version to everything that's come before.
But then we're back to what we were talking about at the beginning, that's what we're back to. All politicians are the same and don't bother.
Yeah.
So I agree that's, but we can't stop believing and hoping that the system can be changed. People do, you look back in history, people do come in and shift things. And so if we're going to just talk about Mamdani and then immediately say, but when he gets in, he's not going to be able to do anything, or he's a phony, then we're back to, hey, let's all just sit here and pick our toes and not be engaged in any way in politics, because that's the way it's all going to turn out. I want to have some hope. And I am strong enough and able enough to have hope and to be disappointed. But to have no hope is unbearable. It's depressing.
I think that's a brilliant way of putting it. I mean, you could say exactly the same with Zach Polanski, which is either you hang up your coat and you go, well, none of it is ever going to work. I don't vote for anyone.
It might be nice that he thinks like that, but God help him when he's in there, he won't be able to pull off a bloody thing.
I agree.
When we're back to what's the point?
I mean, I agree all the time with what MeTube says in the channel and what you just said a moment ago. Sorry, I've forgotten who it was who said it, but this idea that perhaps, I'll believe it when I see it, that type of thing.
Why does George Galloway say he's a phony? I mean, he might say he's not going to be able to pull it off, but why a phony? I often find people with not much heart and not much compassion for others. When they see other people with a warmth and a compassion and a heart, they immediately go, they're fake.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing how often that happens in life. And it's because they're
incapable of it themselves.
Now, George Galloway may be many things, but I don't think of him necessarily as a man with a big heart.
I don't think of warmth.
I don't think of warmth. I think of,
I like a lot of what he says.
He's chosen his sides, and he's extremely, smart and eloquent and all those things. But when I think of George Galloway, I don't think of a heart. When I see Mamdani right here, right now, and that's what I've got to work with, I see a man with a heart. Now, if it's just the fact that he's got the right words, wash him over me, baby, because I need someone with the right words.
Well, I like this point. Jen agreed. We as the public have to be realistic and let go of the dichotomy of perfection or bust.
Beautifully
put. You're absolutely right.
What about if it's just the struggle?
Yeah.
What about if we say it's a struggle that we all want to be a part of? People don't realize that if there's more solidarity, there's more change.
I've had an idea though.
What?
Because in a weird way, one should always try and find the positives even in the negatives. And maybe the positives of Trump, and I think I might have heard Scaramucci on The Rest is Politics US suggest this, though he didn't run into this in any detail. Trump tearing up the rule book and Trump ripping apart the Constitution and how things are done. Maybe what we actually need in politics now is someone on the other side doing exactly the same, because the system demands of everyone that you dance to the tune of the system. And the system is tipped and tilted against anyone being able to do anything. As Richie rightly says, Mamdani might be able to just nibble at the edges, and that's how progress can actually happen.
Yeah,
maybe, because we all felt the same with Obama, and look where we are. We all felt exactly the same with Obama. Nibbling at the edges could change things for the positive. No. And we are where we are right now. I wonder, actually, whether what we need here is someone on the left or more progressive coming in and completely nuking the system in the same way that Trump did, going, all right, you want to play it this way, we will play exactly the same way back.
Playing hardball.
We will be coming in, and anyone who puts up a Confederate flag, we will be fucking putting in a gulag in the deep West, in the deep South, in the, come back hard. Yes, this is the root of civil war. I hate to say it. I think one of the predictions that our predictor or Nostradamus comes up with is civil war. This is why civil war will happen, because not because people are misbehaving, but because the system doesn't allow resistance or change. Not in any meaningful way for ordinary folk and ordinary people.
I was listening to The Rest is Politics, the British one, and they were interviewing Zach from the Green Party. And, oh God, what's his name? Not Alistair, the other one. What's his name? The other guy. Not
Rory.
Rory was absolutely, they were both grilling Zach. You listening?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm just looking at comments as well.
They were really grilling Zach. This is why I really want you to listen to.
No, I heard Zach talking to Gary Lineker about his grilling, so I'm looking forward to listening to this.
So I listened to the whole thing. Now I just don't have the economics education to know what was really going on. But what I felt, and then I read the comments underneath, what I felt was, yes, he got caught out on numbers and stuff, but what I felt was they were absolutely saying, how ludicrous of you. And they do a little chat afterwards, a little bitch about him after he's gone. Right. How ludicrous to come in here and think you're going to change. Well, you're just going to change everything. Well, how's that going to happen? And give us the figures and give us this and give us that and give us this. And it's like, I felt kind of, I don't know, I felt so frustrated because I wanted to understand more of what they were doing, because of course they're very, very smart and they're very able to twist and turn. And what economist do you listen to? Oh, well, that economist, well, he's a bit of a shit economist. He's only got a degree in this and a degree in that. And I thought this felt like intellectual battering, but I wasn't intellectual enough to know what was happening.
Well, we're both coming at the same story from different angles, because it's funny because you've gone to that and listened to that, and I really want to listen to that. And I heard the aftermath where obviously Zach Polanski was interviewing Gary Lineker. Gary Lineker owns the company Goalhanger that owns The Rest is Politics. And Zach Polanski pushed back on him and said it was a hit job. It was one of those smash and grabs that really you expect from the mainstream media. And actually Zach Polanski voiced his disappointment that actually an independent media outlet went for something in such an obvious way. And he said, I admit it. And he said, it actually worked for me. He said, I got a lot of people saying, I didn't know the answers to this, that, and the other, but I kind of owned it and I kind of sat with it. I was
reading the comments underneath, which helped. But I want you to listen
a bit of a marginal, but I think the point, the parallel we're drawing here is
he's trying to make a big shift.
Someone coming in who doesn't have all the answers to everything. It's very easy for anyone. It's very easy for the system to say, well, okay, what are you going to do about that then? But someone's coming in trying to shift all of our ethos and essence in how we approach things. Yeah, but you need to talk about that bit over there, which everyone's been talking about, and how are you going to change that bit? There's always a bit you can point to. It's like when you, just as a small analogy, it's like when you edit a program and you show it to an executive producer, there's always something they can home in on. And you can either be a producer or someone who watches something that only homes in on what's wrong, or you home in on what's right. And I think the thing with Zach Polanski and Mamdani is at this point, we all need to home in on what's right.
Yeah.
Final clip from the Mamdani.
Anyone else watch the rest of politics with them? It was.
Thank you to my parents, Mama and Baba, for raising me, for teaching me how to be in this world, and for having brought me to this city. Thank you to my family from Kampala to Delhi. And thank you to my wife, Rama. For being my best friend and for always showing me the beauty in everyday things. And most of all, thank you to the people of New York.
That makes a nice change from the lampshade next to
Yes.
Trump. It won't even be in the same room with him unless she's paid.
Just going back, look, the Polanski Rory chat and the Gary Lineker chat subsequent. If gilt yields rise and mortgage rates rise, also, but the interesting thing about that, this is the line that's used: gilts, bonds,
and that's what he's saying. We shouldn't be. What I seem to understand is that we shouldn't be doing it that way.
Well, no. What I liked about because we both watched different ends of the same thing, is really quite confusing for me, so it must be for you. But when he was defending himself, Zach Polanski, and kind of had a chance to answer back to Gary Lineker, he said, the point I'm trying to make is, of course, any shocking new approach to anything will shock the markets. And he said, Zach Polanski is not about just shocking the gilt markets and everything like that. My worry about all of this is, who are those fucking people? Who are the people controlling the gilt yields, the gilt markets, the bond markets? I mean, quite literally, who are the people with the buttons going, it's going up?
Should they be part of the election so that you know that you're actually voting? They're the ones that are going to control everything, rather than the parties that you're asking for. Because whatever the party wants to do, these people are trying to find out more about.
That's exactly my point. Use the analogy of Wicked. So you've got the Wizard of Oz behind a great big curtain, pressing all these buttons, doing all this shit, and everyone's going, well, we're told to hate them. We're told to hate the Wicked Witch of the... Use that as an analogy.
Yeah.
If we get in and he goes, well, hang on a minute, let's find the 25 fucking men and women or whoever
who are deciding
this. Let's bring them out from the shadows and put them in the light and say, tell us.
So I was kind of right then, what I was feeling, that they were a bit sort of far, this is the way that it is. And how are you going to change it? What are the numbers? But it's all very well you saying that, but...
But I don't know if Zach Polanski said this in his chat with Rory, but what he was saying to Gary was this: the way he intends to do it, and I don't know if this will float with you, Michu, is the way he was suggesting he do it is you have to tell a story. You have to sell a story. You have to explain that by doing X, Y, Z, and D to keep the environment. What's the cost saving on this pound spend on the environment? What do you save back? This spent on the NHS, what do you get back? He said, if you lay that out to the population, and if you lay it out to the gilt markets, the bond markets, and the Bank of England and everyone else, and they still choose to go, gilts go mad, then I hate to say it, what I would do is I would get one of those kind of great long walking sticks with a bend around the edge, and I'd pull them all off stage and go, all right, I've done my bit. Tell everyone why their fucking mortgage rates are going up.
Yeah.
Sit back. Come on, explain it.
Yeah.
Because they are the motherfuckers on the fringes who are controlling the entire market.
Is that why people say banker wankers? I've never understood that.
Well, there's the traders, there's the banker wankers. Of course, it's a global market, Mitchell. I'm not suggesting it's a couple of people in Shoreditch.
Yes.
But who are they? We need accountability. Isn't it amazing that we all live our lives not knowing who the gilt men and women are or the bond men and women are? We want to know who you are. It's just
passive aggressive. I listen to Trip. What's that? Don't forget, presenters come from mainstream politics. I think they are genuinely stumped at how politics is changing so drastically.
I agree. Yeah. That's why I can't get on board with Alistair Campbell or Rory, because I find Alistair Campbell
Iraq,
so fundamentally compromised. If he can't look back and actually hang his head in shame and go, I did everything wrong with Iraq, how can he have an opinion on Gaza? I just literally don't know how he can have one. And Rory, I find him compelling, but I also find him sort of supercilious.
I was dying, wasn't I? I was screaming. I was listening. So there's like double maths when the teacher keeps asking you another question. It was horrible. They were really bitchy at the end. Really, they did a bitchy breakdown of him. I found it very awkward.
Yeah.
and unnecessary.
God,
and it made me love Zach more. So fuck you, guys.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm just clearing through some of our. I just want to pop up just a couple of things that have caught our attention. Nadia sent me this yesterday. Can you believe it? Just read that for them. That's kneecap. The whole, I'll read it. Okay, no, I'll do it.
The British government has issued us notice that, no, I have to start from the top. The Brits are at it again, this is from Kneecap. The British government has issued us notice that they will appeal in the decision of their own magistrates' court to throw out the case against Mo Chara. Is that how I say it, Chara? It is the view of our legal team that there is not an iota of logic for this. It is without any sound legal basis. It's insane. This is
another flailing arm to distract from and to try and silence those who stand on the right side of history as they are complicit. As Israel today bans charitable organizations providing life-saving and primitive shelter to millions, the British state once again turns to vilify a band.
Unfucking believable.
It's unfathomable.
Unthinkable. And also, check out Bob Villan's post on Instagram. Do you remember how many weeks the story of Bob Villan's inverted commas terrorist behavior was spoken about in the mainstream media? Well, guess what? They were never arrested. Guess what? They're not being charged with anything. They're cleared of everything. And the most serious thing that they could have been found guilty of was the lowest public order, like swearing. Now, after all those headlines, all those discussions on the news, did you hear that? Did you hear no charges, no nothing, no case to answer here? Did they put that out there? I think that's really important for people to know in 2026, to remember.
Why hasn't our
everything else that's
Prime
going
Minister
on?
made a statement about that?
Yep.
About the Maccabi Tel Aviv football fans, where the West Midlands where Lisa and Andy lied to the House of Commons about the fact that they're willing to push an extra yard to make sure something lands against Kneecap, and they have said nothing about Doctors Without Borders being refused entry into the Gaza Strip. Our government has said nothing. War Child.
These charities have been banned. They're going to be thrown out of Palestine. Another way to kill them off. It's just, be angry about it, guys. Be really angry that they tried to manipulate you for weeks, that Bob Villan was the villain in this genocide. And then no apology. It's like he said, they invaded his life, the band's life, their privacy, their family's privacy. It was an absolute stain on mainstream media, absolute stain on them, what they did to Bob Villan.
And what they're trying to do to Kneecap.
And just to remind you, he was the one that said deaf to the IDF at Glastonbury. So I should have said that at the beginning in case people didn't know. And now, yesterday, Kneecap. I mean, it's just...
Focusing on all the wrong things, not even having the balls, the guts, the nous, the warmth. When I saw Keir Starmer's little fucking speech for 2026, I just felt like saying, fuck off. I've got a fear that one of my predictions for this year is the wheels have come off my tolerance, and there wasn't much of it left in 2025. The wheels have come off my tolerance for this bullshit. We are being bullshitted to all the fucking time by a squirming bunch of supercilious cowards who have clearly, all of them, Starmer, the lot of them, are systematically compromised by foreign powers, but not the more obvious ones of Russia, China, but actually Israel.
Picking on this Irish band in the way that it's just so sick. It's just...
It's colonialist.
It's colonialist.
It's doing it to them because it's the Irish thing again. I mean, how does Ireland feel about it?
Mocara. Thank you so much, Mocara. Do watch. What's the one I always forget the words? Don't be quiet. Be silent.
Say nothing.
Say nothing. Watch that drama on Netflix, BBC Channel 4. I don't know. Say nothing. Watch it. Just watch.
Well, interestingly, Oxidus Magicus says, my prediction for 2026 is that Starmer will not be Prime Minister. Shall we go through your Nostradamus?
Yes. We might not have time for all of them.
No, of course.
Guest.
Okay.
Very special.
Oh, yes,
guest
yes.
today.
Oh, my God, yes, we absolutely do. New Nostradamus reveals biggest predictions for this year. I was expecting all sorts of magical, mystical stuff from him, but this is very political. It's grounded in reality. Craig Hamilton Parker, apparently a psychic who predicted COVID-19, Brexit, and even the Queen dying, has given the Metro, that bastion of truth,
hang on,
his
I
biggest
like the
predictions
Metro.
for 2026.
Do you know they print
I said
pro-Palestinian?
it's a bastion of truth.
I thought you said it sarcastically.
I kind of did. I don't trust any mainstream outlet. I don't even trust the Guardian anymore.
I love the Metro.
He also has predicted that Starmer's government will collapse under infighting. No shit, Sherlock. But what I think is interesting about what he says is that he thinks it's going to implode around Ed Miliband,
Yes,
David Lammy, and other party members. And we could have, oh my God, the insufferable,
no, please, God, no.
the insufferable Yvette Cooper as a temporary prime minister. I mean, please change the record.
Temporary.
Change the record.
Who could we bear?
What is Starmer's
could you
nuclear
bear to
option,
take over?
YouTube?
Who could
I
you
couldn't bear any of them.
No, because the ones that are pro are proper socialists aren't ever heard.
Jess Phillips called it
Not
the
Jess Phillips.
infitada.
Not Jess
Hang on.
Phillips.
She called it the
Gone right off
She
Jess
did an interview with the LBC saying
Infitada.
globalize the intifada is anti-Semitic. And when she said it, she said infitada.
Do you think she was thinking of a frittata?
That's just thinking
Maybe
of
she
a
was
burrata.
hungry.
It's just ridiculous. Following on from the collapse of Starmer's government, he predicts that the public finally forces an election. Reform will narrowly win, relying on the Tories. We've been predicting that for the last 2 years. Amidst the political change, he predicts major unrest over immigration and culture wars. It's already here, isn't it? He sees anti-immigration riots erupting across multiple cities. His final prediction is King Charles's death, which will send shockwaves through the nation. World predictions. He thinks there'll be a correction in the markets due to the AI bubble. Again, this is all quite safe guesswork. Years ago, Craig predicted that Ukraine would reclaim most of its territory. I'm sorry, he's not to call him Nostradamus. It's a joke.
Shh. You don't know
We made these predictions this Christmas.
No, they've come out this Christmas, but maybe you predicted them 10 years ago.
I much prefer trusting the Albanian
when did
woman,
he predict
the woman from Albania, the blind woman
I
from
don't,
Albania.
because she said the Trump and thingy are going to bring around the end of the world.
Which mystic do you prefer?
What's his name? I'm going to look up.
Hang on a minute. This guy is Googling everything and making some pretty educated guesses.
When did he predict them?
Well, I don't know. You sent me the story.
I know, but I didn't.
Let's have a look. New Nostradamus reveals. It doesn't say if psychic who. No, he's still alive. He's just predicted it this year.
He's alive.
I know, but if one glance at the papers this morning, you could come up with all these predictions.
All right, but let's stop then because it's boring.
Ridiculous. Anyway, I just want to play you this clip from Jackie Chan. It's quite serious, the implications of it. But and then we're going to go.
Well, no, we need to talk about. The Swiss tragedy.
Sorry, yeah. Okay, well, let me just play you this because this really moved me, and I think it will move you, Nats, as well. This is Jackie Chan, director, actor, stuntman.
看一个视频，我一看那个小孩子一讲话我就哭了。他问你们大了做什么？我们这边的小孩子长不大的。哇，我眼泪咔就下来。
This is about children in Gaza. He asked a child, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And the child said, "Children don't grow up here."
加沙的小孩子，每天炸的，你看，他讲这句话，他没有表演。我们这边的小孩子长不大的。 哇，就下来了。所以你看，老是一种幸福。所以在这边，恭喜所有老人家可以老。
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for that.
I saw a stat yesterday. I think it was from War Child that 50% of Palestinian children are suicidal. Think about that. Think about that. If we said that about any other nation.
And moving towards this awful tragedy before we sign off, over the last 24 hours
This
coming
is
through. Switzerland.
I can't actually believe this.
Switzerland held 5 days of mourning after 40 killed. The Sun was reporting 47 last night had died in a resort fire as investigators rushed to identify victims. It happened in seconds. Sudden inferno brought horror to Swiss ski resort. New Year's horror inferno left dozens dead. Single photograph captures moment waitress was walking with sparklers in a champagne bottle, and you can see the ceiling at the top there. That's it igniting. And this here that I'm about to show, I'm going to turn the volume down, is some of the footage.
Oh my God! So is that the polystyrene melting
so that
down?
starts, and the whole place.
They're still dancing at that point. Still thinking it's funny.
It out.
Oh,
and then
my
it
God,
engulfed the
bless them.
entire interior, and I think people so badly burned they're struggling to identify many people.
It is just beyond belief. All those young people pissed, being stupid, being young, like too many people. You know what? I don't know if you've ever been in a job where because it happens in the theatre, you know, when you're touring and stuff, and the fire people will come and you'd be like, oh God, and they're checking stuff. I remember this at the when I did the Edinburgh Festival, and you'd be like, oh God, I suppose they're going to come in and they're going to say this is wrong and that's wrong. My God, thank God for them. Thank God for them, because to have if that was, it looked like polystyrene.
It was full of foam.
Sound. It was for sound
purposes.
proofing.
Yeah. So it was foam. It was wood and foam. Basically, it went up. More than a 16-year-old has died. Up to 47 youngsters have died, and they're
I think over 100 injured.
115.
Yeah. So truly awful. But there were past videos. It wasn't just one way. Hi Ashley, happy New Year. There were past videos. It's a thing. So it was up on their
and apparently
Instagram, I think, with them like
running around with sparklers and champagne bottles. That's the thing. It was a thing. You're absolutely right, Reese. Over the Christmas period, lots of other stuff did happen. Another tragedy. Anthony Joshua, his two friends, also helped train and died in a car crash accident. He was also in a few days before New Year's Eve. Anthony's driver survived, but his friends
that
didn't.
was just so tragic, wasn't it?
Yeah, so terrible.
Oh,
okay.
God.
Well, guys.
So, guys, listen. It's a new year, and we will continue to be here every day for you. And today was a bit of a funny one because the puppy kept us up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Not her fault, it was our fault. And so we sort of just dived into this. But we will be bringing you more funny stuff as well, funny videos and hopeful things.
Lovely to see you, though. I hope
and
your
a
dad's
good old
feeling better.
And a good old mix of content. So please, if you haven't subscribed, just hit the subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps get these videos out to more people. And we are back full force. And
not only full force, you're going to be getting a lot of us this year, and also the members area. Obviously, over Christmas we had so many best laid plans. Both for
often I had to go to the hospital, the hospice. Surprising, you've been so patient, and we really do thank you so much for that.
So in terms
I'm going to make it up to you.
So in terms of the Sunday show level, obviously we did a members live in the middle there. With the pups, that will be coming back again once a week, and of course there was a cook-along which we were planning, and tragically it all happened around the same weekend and time that Hannah passed.
But we're going to I think we're going to definitely move it more to the middle of the week, that members live, because the Mondays always seems to be a bit difficult. And I want to do a live in the members area with Pepper.
Yes, do it.
And we can tell you all about how Pepper and Toffee are getting on.
Yes. All right, and also on that, there is one last Vlogmas to come, because of course everyone's wondering whether Dina's Narnia has been finished.
Such a shame we didn't make it for Christmas. As I said to Mark, it won't even go up on bloody Instagram now, but we have a very special guest coming today.
No, part of it will. My bit will.
We've got a very special guest coming today who actually we did all of this for.
Yeah.
You do? You know who you are? So, hit the subscribe button, guys. I'm back on Loose Women next Thursday, the new Loose Women with no audience. So we are, I'm not sure if it starts on Monday, but I know I'm in Thursday and Friday. So we'll be back. Curly Cooks on Saturday. And Mark will be back Saturday morning.
Saturday? Is it coming this Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Dina was suggesting otherwise, but yeah. Okay. All right. Lots of love, guys. Take care.
Bye. Bye.